Geographical term. It is quite specific. It is talking about land, and it is a plateau. It's an area of highland. A plateau. So you're going to have some lowlands, maybe some tidal areas, some coastal areas, and then the land's going to come up, and then it'll flatten out like that. So that is a plateau when the land gets higher, and you can have a lot of valleys or some canyons or something like that. I remember this word from my elementary school when they're telling us about the state of Virginia. There's the area near the water, then there's a plateau, then there's the mountains, like that. Number 2, creek. This is just another word for something like a stream, but creek sounds particularly small. Quite small. It is a creek. Again, there's no set limit on what is the difference between a creek, stream, river, but river is going to be big, like the Han River. The Han River is a big river, but stream is going to be something like Cheonggyecheon, and then even, I would say a creek, when I hear creek, sounds even a little bit smaller than Cheonggyecheon. Like, a creek can sometimes dry up. Quite often might dry up and there's no water there.
Creek is smaller than stream.
Definitely. Definitely creek is smaller than stream. When I think of creek, I think of like just somewhere in the woods, you know. A creek might not even have a name. Oh, they often do because people give names to everything. But a creek, yeah, I remember the creek behind my house when I was a kid. We called it the creek. Sometimes there was no water there. If it wasn't raining enough, it can dry up. Streams could maybe dry up. Does Cheonggyecheon ever dry up? No, constant flow of water. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I would describe it. Cheonggyecheon is more like a stream, and even smaller than that. It can be really, really small. Is a creek. I'm trying to think. Are there any other words to describe creek, stream, river? I'm sure there's other ones that I'm forgetting, but those are the main 3. Riverbed. So bed just means the area beside it. The riverbed, right next to the river. This says the channel in which a river flows. Just riverbed means right next to the river. Sometimes it can be quite steep if the river is cutting through some rock or something. But oftentimes it is quite soft and spreads out, so you can think of like a bed, like you could lay down right there. The riverbed is just the area right next to the river. Number 4, shepherd. This is a person who tends to sheep. A lot of time they use the word tends to. You can see that in the definition. They tend to the sheep. To tend to something basically means to take care of it. They tend to the sheep. They take care of the sheep. They make sure they don't get lost. I actually saw some shepherds when I went to Tasmania. They had the dogs running around. The dogs herd them. So to herd means to make them go in one direction, to kind of push them in one direction. If you say they tend to the sheep, or you can say tend to my garden, you know, just take care of it. Make sure it's okay. Number 5, probably you guys know this word. The pronunciation might be a little bit difficult. Rural. Rural. It's even the pronunciation for me. I have to be a little bit careful because it's RRL. Rural just means very countryside-ish, right? Countryside is a noun. Rural is an adjective. A lot of times they attach it to the word area, which you see in this example sentence. Sejong City used to be a rural area that was developed into a city. Rural area, rural. I'm trying to think of other words that they attach to it. You wouldn't really call a person a rural person. Rural area. It's definitely attached to the word area is the one word that keeps popping up into my head. That's so common. It's hard to think of any other word. Rural area.
Rural environment.
Okay, that works. That sounds okay to me. Rural area, rural environment, something like that. And number 6, Very easy, fundraising. I think we don't even need to go over that one. Just